come on with me today as I show you how to make your very own healthy and delicious crackers. Hey mamas, this is Dr. Monica Du. I'm a pediatrician turned homeschool mom, and here I love to share my self-sustainability tips on family, health, living, and the home. As you join me, you're going to see different DIY projects, homeschooling tips and what works well for my family, and just a multitude of things that I share to help others along the way. Join me with this journey. This recipe is not only healthy, but it is family pleasing, and get ready because when you make it, it will not last for very long. It is simple and can be used for the basis of all the crackers that you would need to provide for snacks for your family. Instead of buying snack crackers, which often cost us so much money over time, you can easily make them on your own with simple ingredients. You will find listed all the ingredients below if you would like to try. I like to go ahead and make different variations as we go along, depending on what we feel like at the moment. There are so many. In the upcoming ones, you're going to see I'm going to be using black sesame seeds, which are rich in minerals that your body needs. And the second variation is a honey maple syrup one that we decided to go ahead and try. It was very good. The possibilities are endless. You can try your very own. So it's a simple blending together of the ingredients. I use the stand mixer just to help it along a little bit faster, but you can easily do this by hand using a bowl and then turning the dough over onto your work surface. Right now I'm just incorporating the material so that it'll kind of form into a dough ball that will be easy to manipulate. So as you monitor it, you just add a little water to make sure that everything is combining, and you just want it to kind of turn into a semi-ball that you can then manipulate. Now the dough, when you're finished mixing, it is going to be a little bit sticky, so go ahead and plan ahead to have some extra flour ready so that you can sprinkle it on the surface and also on the dough as you go along. With the recipe that I used and the amounts, it allowed for me to make 2 sheet pans full of crackers. So it all depends on how much you want to make at a time, but for me this was a good amount for my family size. You want to always make sure, if you can, to have good ingredients that you feel like you don't have to worry about. So this would be organic flour or even your own freshly milled wheat berries if you'd like. A good butter. The one that I'm using is the Kerrygold brand at this moment. So you always want to be monitoring. So as you can see, the dough is quite loose and a little bit watery, so don't be afraid to tailor as you go along. So you can always add a little bit more flour. That's the beauty of doing things for yourself. You monitor and you adjust along the way. Ladies, let me tell you, I'm no master chef, but I am a determined mom wanting to provide the best and healthiest food for my children and family. So you do your best and you leave all the rest to the Lord. It doesn't have to be perfect, not at all, but when you make your best efforts, you will reap the benefits, and so will your family. So the dough ball is forming a little bit more and a little bit more. It's becoming much more formed than what it was before. So now is an okay time to go ahead and try and release from the bowl. And as I said, it is a sticky dough, and that's okay. You add the flour as you can to kind of help you form it as you like, and then it will come together. But it was very light and airy. It was quite nice to work with. A little parchment paper on your surface also helps to kind of keep any messes down to a minimum. That's another thing. When I'm cooking, I always like to do the best I can to make sure that I make minimal mess, because of course no one wants to clean up so many things. And I know that we all know there's quite a few things that we have to do as moms throughout the day. So if you can make life easier for yourself, then that's the best. So you want to go ahead and separate the dough balls into 2 portions so that you can transfer over to 2 separate sheet pans. One very important tip is when you formed the dough, if you can, go ahead and refrigerate it for at least 30 minutes. And this is going to help you greatly, because when you're ready to cut those crackers, it still can be a little bit difficult in terms of the sticky nature of it. So it just helps the dough to be even better formed, and it helps it to hold more so together. So if you can refrigerate the dough at this step for about 30 minutes, it really will help you. It also helps to prevent the dough from sticking to your rolling pin. So you just easily roll it as best as you can, apply flour if anything is sticking, and you're just trying to make it flat to pretty thin, because it's going to be a cracker. So you make the thickness in accordance to what you're preferring. So if you want it to be quite crispy, then you might want it to be quite thin, but you just have to be careful when maneuvering it, because it'll be a little bit fragile. Now this dough was refrigerated. I don't know if you can tell, this one is a little bit harder to roll out. It had a little bit more elasticity. So, you kind of have a give and take, but you don't want it to be very hard to roll out because of its stickiness, and because it's quite soft once you're finished with the incorporation of it. So, you do the best you can, and over time, you'll kind of get a feel of what works best. So 15 to 30 minutes, you can kind of see which one works best for you. Also, there's probably some factor related to the temperature in your environment. So, oftentimes recipes are individualized, but as long as you have the basics, you can then run from there. Now you're just going to go ahead and cut off the edges so that the cuts that you make are a little bit clean, and then of course you can always roll up the rest of the dough that you have remaining and then roll it out again to make another few little more crackers. In this case, I decided not to make the conventional shape, but I went ahead and made just some fun triangles for my children. Using the scraper really helps. As you can see, it's going to be easier to scrape off once I use that and transfer. Now for this part, I'm just applying a little avocado oil. You can also use olive oil. And I'm just using that as a base to help to apply the black sesame seeds. And of course, as I mentioned, there is so much variation that you can do. You can even make it a mixed sesame seed, poppy seed, whatever you prefer. I tend not to add any salt because I feel that some people may not necessarily prefer the salt on their cracker, so if anyone wants, they can always add that for themselves. So I usually set the oven for 350 degrees, and the crackers did not take very long to cook. I would say between 30 to 45 minutes, but as I always mention, it's all dependent upon your oven, but just as a standard to kind of use as a guide, I would kind of check on it every now and then and see where you are. But set out to be between 30 to 45 minutes. Now you just need to space them out just a little bit so that they can have space to bake and not stick onto one another. Just adding another little touch of avocado oil. did not take very long for them to be ready. So they have a nice light brown coloring to it, and they're very light. So with this one, you can serve it with many options too, depending on the flavor that you have and what you have available. You can serve with some cubes of cheese. You can serve alongside some fruit. You could even serve it in the morning if you wanted to do a hot bowl of cereal. As they store well, just keep them in the fridge. You can put them in a container that can close well, and it will keep fresh for a good bit. But honestly, I never get to the stage of storage very often because they are eaten so quickly. And there you are. Try your hand at it.